A beautiful day to all of us. I bring you special greetings. This is a lesson that is being done to guide all drivers on the use of tachograph. So in this lesson, I'm going to walk you through the basics that you need to know when it comes to the use of tachograph. So I'm going to take it slow. I've broken this section into parts. So in this first part, I'm basically going to deal with the basic knowledge, the general knowledge, overall understanding that you need to have for a tachograph. At another section, I'll take you through the parts and how to log in and how to operate the entire thing. And then finally, we will look at practical demonstration on the use of the tachograph. I hope it will be a great resource to you as someone who wants to travel outside your home country to work in especially the European countries. Happy stay for this lesson, and you'll be blessed. So we look at the tachograph as displayed on the screen. This is how the tachograph looks like. Something similar to the car tape in your truck or in your bus. This lesson is particularly tailored to suit truck drivers and bus drivers who use the tachograph in their planning of their and recording of their activities. So this tachograph is an electronic device that is fitted in your truck. If you're a professional driver like myself, you would realize that most of the time it's at the upper part of your vehicle. Some also have it fitted on the dashboard elsewhere. It depends on the preference of the company. So this is how the tachograph looks like, and it is fitted in your truck or in your bus. Now, so mainly we have two types of tachographs. We have the digital one and the analog type. But I'm going to walk you through the digital tachograph as by way of trying to define it, what it is. It's an electronic device that is fitted in your truck or in your bus, and it records information on a range of vehicles and driver activities. So it will cover a range of the vehicle's own activities and the driver's activities as well. And the data is stored in the vehicle's unit memory and on the driver's card. So we take in the basic informations that are stored on the tachograph. The first and important thing is the date for which the activity is being occurred, the date on which you are driving, transferring goods from one place to the other, or transporting passengers from one place to the other. The other information that is recorded in the tachograph unit and on your card is your vehicle registration number, very important. It also records the speed that the vehicle travels for a period of 24 hours of driving. And I will explain that also in detail for a period of 24 hours of driving. The tachograph has the ability to also record activities of 2 drivers in one bus. For some long vehicle trucks, in some cases, 2 drivers will be assigned to drive. So we have the main driver and then the co-driver. The tachograph can pick the 2 drivers' details at each point in time that they take on the steering wheel. So the number of activities a driver's card, the number of times that is a driver's card is inserted into the tachograph is recorded. If you slot it in, you slot it out, slot it in, slot it out. The number of times you do that is also recorded. Other informations that is recorded on the tachograph and on your card as a driver is the distance traveled by the driver. So the tachograph is fitted with sensors that it's able to read the vehicle's odometer when the card is inserted. And it can also read it even when the card is removed. We will look at all those ones in detail. Some people will remove it and drive, thinking they want to beat certain thing, but the tachograph will find you out. It will record the time that the driver's card was not inserted in the tachograph, which is an offense. So take note. We'll come back to that detail. Once again, the driver's activities, your driving time, if you drove from 9 a.m. to 12 in the noon, or 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., it will all be recorded. Your rest time, very necessary. Your time for break, other works time when they are loading, or you are delivering a report to the office, and all those things are all recorded by the tachograph. The date and time of activity change. Let's say, for example, today, 15th November 2024, you were assigned earlier in the day to have transported certain goods from your destination company premise to company X. The time was scheduled, but when you were about to move, you were reallocated to rather go to company XYZ. You would need to record those destinations in the tachograph to reflect with the schedule that you have been assigned to in the office. The tachograph also records information such as driving without a card, like as I mentioned, overspeeding. When you overspeed, you will see it will come on the screen like that, overspeeding. And it will give you a warning. Attempt fraud attempts on the system. There are some people that they may try to manually key in certain time on the tachograph to change their work schedule, either to add more timing in an attempt to get an overtime, or to make a correction in the tachograph without indicating it on the printout, which I will explain that one also. Because if you make any correction, which is legal, which is legitimate, you will need to do a printout and indicate it at the back of the printed sheets. When the tachograph develops faults, it will automatically also record the fault that it has also experienced. So you see, the tachograph is like your supervisor without the presence of your physical supervisor with you in the bus. So you need to take it very serious, and you need to make sure you understand it and you do exactly as it takes. That's why, because of the very importance of it, that's why I've taken my time to talk slowly so that we can all understand it across the globe wherever we find ourselves. This is English broken down to simple consumption because of the importance of the tachograph, because many people are fined for misuse. Many people are fined for negligence of use. Many people are fined by not heeding to the proper usage of the tachograph. And it can really even cost you your profession as a truck driver or as a bus driver in Eastern Europe, in Asia, in America, wherever you find yourself. The purpose of the information stored on the tachograph is to enforce checks, to be sure that the driver, you are doing the right thing. Also, it can be used to trace the details of the tachograph calibration. The tachograph is programmed. With time, it becomes weak sometimes, and it needs to be recalibrated. Sometimes you find out that the time on it is even running slow, late at a point in time. It needs to be recalibrated. When your vehicle goes for maintenance and all those things, it can alter the actual settings within it. So the information that is being picked on you as a driver and you as the bus, if you are working ethically and morally, as we all seek to project our companies and associations, you don't have anything to worry about. It is nothing to scare you. It's a friendly device that will help you in your own journey and in your own schedule planning. So the details of the tachograph calibrations are also recorded and stored on the tachograph. If you try tampering with the system, it will also indicate that. So you see, it's very key and very fundamental that you work with it as planned and as scheduled. How does this tachograph system work? This whole tachograph that we are talking about. How does the system work? So it's a digital tachograph. Then it consists of the vehicle unit. It has a motion sensor, and it has a smart card. We will be looking at the diagram very soon. The vehicle unit itself is the entire tachograph unit that you are talking about, as I showed the picture to you earlier, looking at something like the radio player or the pen drive player in your bus or in your truck. And there is a motion sensor in it. You see, like with our phones, those of us who have driven the Uber, the Yango, the Bolt, or perhaps you use a lot of GPS like myself. When you log on to the GPS system and you are moving, you realize that the app is on your phone, but as you are moving, you see the speed at which you are driving in a small circle. It shows you the kilometer per hour. When you slow down, it reduces when you speed. And yet your phone is not connected to any device. That is the motion sensor that picks the speed. Motion is movement, activity, kinetics as you are moving or accelerating towards a point. There are sensors that does that, and you have the very advanced type that are inserted in the tachograph that are in these modern latest buses that we are driving. So the vehicle unit is like the brain of the system. It has a processor, it has a real-time clock, and it has two card slots for the driver and the co-driver. It has a display screen on which you would see everything. A printer is at one side and you can download it. It has a connector and a facility that facilitates making manual entries in the vehicle unit, and is located in the driver area in the car, wherever that you find yourself sitting in the car. So basically, these are the parts that I'm talking about. My picture is quite not clear, but you would see. So basically, this is the tachograph unit, just like the one I showed you earlier. So it has an electronic speedometer inserted in it. And this is the screen where the detailing will be displayed. It has this speed sensor also inserted in it. And these are the driver cards. You can see 2 slots, driver 1, driver 2. When you make a printout from this section, this is how it looks like. It's like a small strip of paper, like what when you buy things at the shopping mall and the supermarkets, they'll give to you. The tachograph also has an opening here that you can connect a pen drive to it. If it is a pen drive that has the software that is able to download information from the tachograph, you can connect a cable to it and download information on your laptop or on a device that is recommended by the company. We will look at all this and the laws regulating it, when you can do that and when you cannot do that. And with respect to company policy specifics, so that we can work with the tachograph in our trucks and buses conveniently. Now, this is how it works. Like I said, I'm giving you general overview understanding of the system. So the motion or the speed sensor is located in the gearbox, and it is connected to the tachograph. There's a speed sensor in your gearbox and a speed sensor in the tachograph, and it is connected electronically. So the signals are encrypted. If we say the signals are encrypted, it means you cannot alter it between the gearbox and the distance. It is not supposed to be. Once you try to put in an electronic system or a software, a program to alter it, the tachograph will report that it is being tampered with. So the vehicle unit and the motion sensors, they are paired, and it receives signals from each other fully. So this means that any attempt to interfere with them is detected and recorded by the vehicle unit. And I've indicated already that when you do that, it is an offense. So it's a system that you don't joke with it at all. Now, we have various types of tachograph cards. Mostly what we, the drivers, know is a driver's card. But we have the control card as well that is used in programming the tachograph. We have the workshop card that when you take your vehicle to the shop and in case they're fixing something, electronics or something, and the tachograph gets affected, the workshop card is what is used to insert into it and then reset it into standard operation mode. The company card is also there that has the company's name, the company code with the barcode on it. And that is what gives the company the permit to print, to download information from the tachograph in your bar. So you see, the tachograph that you will be working on as a driver with your driver card, you are not the only person who will be accessing it. The control officers will access it. The workshop can also access it when you go there. And then the company itself by your supervisor, or normally in the European state, they call them your operator. So your operator is like your supervisor, who would from time to time will be picking the information and details on your tachograph and storing them accordingly for one, security reasons, and then for two, for law enforcement reasons. So this also gives us an understanding that there are different cards, smart cards, that are using. Mainly, there are 4 types. What do the driver you'll be using mainly is your driver's card. And that is where we're going to concentrate on in this discussion that we are having. So we may not be looking in detail of the control card or the workshop card or the company card. That is it. But in all, the vehicle unit will identify the card holder and enable you to transfer and store data as you're supposed to do. Now, this tachograph we are talking about, it can store a lot of units. So the question somebody may ask is that how much data can the vehicle units and the driver car store? A lot. Comprehensively, a year for the tachograph unit in the car itself. So the driver card can store up to 28 days worth of data. When it is full, the data stored may be overwritten by new data. So as you are working, a new data comes in, it will overwrite it, and then the old data will be going off. So at every point in time, you can get a 28 days worth of data or information, activities that you have done within a 28 days worth of data at a time. But when it comes to the vehicle unit itself, it stores data of previous days for 365 days before the old data will be overwritten. And before the old data will be overwritten, it would have been downloaded and stored in an appropriate storage device. So the information is not just allowed to go. What should I do with the data from the digital tachograph as an operator? Just to give you a brief understanding of what your supervisor will be doing with the information, so that when you know what the information they are picking, what they are going to use it for, it also, and as to when and how they may come for it, it gives you a sense of caution so that you are also alert and you do the right thing and you abide by the principles. So your supervisor, 2 main responsibilities. 1, he will be downloading the data from the driver's card at least every 21 days. And from the vehicle units, at least every 3 months. Like I said, the vehicle unit can store the data of your operations and of your work for a whole year, but anything can happen. So some companies have the policy that your supervisor will even be downloading your vehicle units on a weekly basis or fortnightly, every 2 weeks or monthly. But at least Every 3 months, it should be downloaded and saved for the 1 year. And you must also download information in it raw form. When you download the information, he would, in some organizations, he will give you a copy, and then you also keep a copy. And no one is supposed to alter it. You are not supposed to change it. You leave it in whatever form that they give to you. Don't say, I'm going to slot it in my laptop, and then I'll go and make some corrections on it. No, it is against the rule. The second thing, your operator will be using it, or your supervisor will be using it to monitor you, the driver. He will monitor the driver's record and your printout. If there are breaches of the driver's rule, you must address them and take steps to ensure they do not happen again. That is if you're a supervisor. So your supervisor would be checking, monitoring, and advising you. And most of these advisors or these supervisors or operators are young guys, very smart young guys. When they come to your vehicle to download the information and to have quick discussions with you on certain bridges, maybe you overspeeded 1 minute, 2 minutes here. Maybe at this time we are finding errors of this, and they want to have a quick discussion with you. Please don't brush them off. They are like your lifeblood, your lifeline. If you joke with them and they send negative report on you, your employment can be terminated. So you need to be very careful, respect them, be humble, and work in close association with them. If they invite you to the office, don't panic. Just go and explain the situation as it occurred with evidence. And I will show you the kind of evidence that you need to keep if there are certain breaches on the way. We will walk you through that, and you'll see how to do all those things very well. So, in keeping the digital data in an archive, it is relatively very simple. The operator will record and keep it. And like I said, in some organizations, they may also give you a copy of what has been downloaded. Some companies have, the tachograph, it comes with a device for the downloading. There are some specialized apps that have also been developed that you can install on a storage device, that if it is compatible with the tachograph that you are using, you can use that to also download the information to store. But in all this, care must be taken, and make sure that your company's policy allows it before you do that. Remember, I told you that your card can contain information of about 28 days, and you will need a copy of these data before then. That is why your supervisor every 21 days would be coming to download the information on your tachograph and give you a copy. So that is about it. Now, we need to know the monitoring responsibility of the operator, your supervisor. You are a driver. You are not an operator. You don't supervise yourself. But like I said, you need to know your immediate boss or your immediate supervisor's activities, so that it will help you to know what to do and the information you will be coming for and the consequences. So for the operator's responsibility, one, he has to check and report on the following: non-compliance with the driver's hours rule by the driver. Is the driver complying by his hours of drive, his hours of rest? He would also be checking details of missing mileage. where a vehicle has been driven without a driver card. When you download the information, these are the things you'll be looking out for. So you also make sure you don't drive without inserting your card in your tachograph. Always the first thing you do, you sit in the car, you switch on your engine, you insert your tachograph. We will look at that details in our next lesson. You'll also be looking for missing activities during your shift break, your other works. Have you keyed in wrong timing for your break or wrong timing for other works? Those are the things that you will be looking out for. And remember, I told you the tachograph doesn't lie. It is an expert and an accurate device that whatever you are putting in, remember that it also has a preset time in it, and it records everything that you put inside. Missing start and end locations. Your location where you are starting, you did not insert it. You did not insert the time. You drove to a far away distance before you stopped, and then you inserted it. The tachograph will record times that your driver's tach card was not inserted in it. You ended the trip and you decided not to indicate you've ended it, and you drove to another destination and came back before you decided to record. The tachograph would indicate it, and you would have to prove or explain where you drove the vehicle to and came back within those hours that your card was not inserted in the tachograph. Your supervisor or operator will also be checking over speeding if it has occurred. So you see, all these things give us a sense of caution. So we'll be hearing the tachograph. In certain jurisdictions, it is not a serious matter, but elsewhere, it is like your police with you, a friendly policeman who is guiding you for your own health as to taking appropriate breaks, guiding you for your own destinations so that you don't miss your destinations and stuff, and helping you to comply with company rules and policies. So you see, it's a friendly device, but you need to have a full understanding, a full comprehension of what it is, what it does, what it's used for, who attends to it, who downloads, who prints, who operates. And it is like the program of your entire activity as a truck driver, as a bus driver. Supervisory role. With the information gathered, your supervisor will instruct you and train every driver on the proper operations of the equipment. So it is the supervisor's operation in any company that you are employed in Europe, in Asia, in America. They will not just hand over a bus to you without taking you through proper training on the tachograph. But you need to be smart. You need to understand it. That's why there's a need for you to have this basic wealth of knowledge and understanding about the tachograph. In most jurisdictions, they are not used in order not to betray your ignorance. That's why some of these lessons, you need to listen through it carefully and embrace whatever is being taught. You need to be very, very smart with the use of the tachograph, which will make you very happy. The Lithuanian man will say lamingas. Ashe sola boy lamingas. I am very happy. It makes you very happy, and you should be very, very smart. Laboy pretingers, very smart. Laboy pretingers. So don't forget your language is also very key and important. The supervisor will help you to follow the driver's hours rules when planning your routes. You see, sometimes you'll be going to destiny A. When you key in the destination on your GPS, it will suggest a shorter alternative route for you. And you need to key in a destination on that road and then to where you're going to based on your timing, when you take your rest and as to when you reach there. So that is the essence of all the information that the supervisor will be taking on your tachograph. And by this, they have experience. Don't underrate them. Don't say you find yourself always behind the wheel. So you have experience. They have experience. They know the town more than you. They know the routes more than you. Take it like that and follow their instructions. Your supervisor would also supply with enough printer paper rolls in the vehicle for the recording equipment. Always in your tachograph, I will advise that have additional 2 rows apart from the one inserted in the tachograph. Have an additional 2 rows so that when you use them, you are sure that they never get finished. Operational, ensure proper use of driver card and the digital tachograph. I've said enough about that. And arrange for the repair of recording equipment on the journey if the trip takes longer than 1 week after a defect occurs. What am I saying here? You've been assigned on a long inter-regional driving. You're moving to one country to another. Let's say you're going to Latvia. You may drive back to Lithuania. You may go to Belarus. You may find yourself in Poland or somewhere, and your route is taking a long trip. And then along the way, you realize that there is fault with the equipment. You need to take note of when you detected that. At the back of a printout, you print and you indicate the time and then the activities and what is happening. So in that case, it means that for part of your journey, it will be required for you to keep a manual kind of report so that in case you get to a tachograph checkpoint, you can show that and indicate your route. They will communicate with your officers and they will know that business first. So you are safe, you are intact, and you are not deliberately flouting or breaking the rules. So in terms of operation, when we say operation activities, what you're supposed to be doing, briefly, that's what I would want to talk about. So the tachograph needs to be tested and it needs to be checked properly. If nothing happens, you are driving smoothly, the bus is good, at least within a 2-year of its last calibration, that is the last time that the tachograph was programmed, it must be done. So if you are picking a bus, you are picking a truck, you need as a driver to check on it as to the last time that it was calibrated. It will inform you if your tachograph, let's say, has been calibrated a year ago and it's in its 2nd year. There's a possibility that it can show some inaccuracies of a sort. So the period of the calibration informs you as to what you should also expect from your tachograph in your track. But most companies in Europe have a policy to calibrate it every year, or any time the bus goes for servicing, they would check it. So these are some of the instances that the equipment would need to be recalibrated. That is, if the system is repaired, if you report a minor fault with it and they get it repaired, it must be recalibrated. And the recalibration, this is a technical term that is setting the timing, setting the sensors and all those operational memories of the tachograph that makes it work and functions very well. So that is the technical people's side. I am focusing on truck and bus drivers' knowledge and understanding of the tachograph, so I wouldn't go into much of those computerized application calibrations. And then if you find out that the time displayed is wrong by more than 20 minutes, that is a strip. So between, you see, maybe 1 minute, 2 minute error, that's all right. But from 5 minutes, 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and you realize that your time is wrong. You see, this point, what I'm explaining here is that, you see, the normal digital and analog clocks that even we have at home, sometimes you realize that the time begins to run late. Either the battery is down or the system has been heated. Weather changes and other stuff sometimes have impact on these electronic devices. So you need to check it with the time zone in which you find yourself. If you realize that the time is displaying wrong timing for you, you need to report and it needs to be checked and it needs to be recalibrated for you. If the vehicle registration number also changes within the system, you realize that you slot in your card and the vehicle number, that's the car number that comes, is different from what you have slotted in. You need to quickly eject it, clean it, and reinsert. When you do it a second time and you find that it's giving you the same error, you need to report for it to be recalibrated. Another one that lands much into physics is the circumference of your tire. When you realize that the circumference of your tire has changed, the circumference of your tire. The circumference is the perimeter, the area around your whole tire zone. Circumference of the tire can change due to wearing. You've driven the tire and the tire has worn out a little. Thereby changing the circumference, it means that the diameter, the cross-sectional area of your tire has changed. It has impact on your speed. It has impact on your gripping the ground, your brake systems, and other things. So you need to report. Sometimes they may change the entire tires of your truck or your vehicle at a point, but the calibration has not been done. When you realize that, you need to also draw the attention of your operator or your supervisor so that they will calibrate the tachograph to meet with the circumference of your tire. When the seal or installation plate are also damaged or is missing, you need to also inform your operator for a test to be carried and the tachograph well calibrated. So you are not cast in stone. You know, be flexible, be friendly, and make sure that whatever you are doing, you understand what you are doing, You are in good rapport, nice talking terms with your supervisor, and you collaborate a lot. Relax, feel free. The job is your job as a professional driver, and I believe you can do it very well. Data handling. Data handling. The information that is downloaded from the VU, that is the vehicle unit, every 3 months, as I said, that is at least every 3 months, must be downloaded from the driver's card, at least every 3 months, and then from the driver's card every 21 days. I've said that earlier. Just re-echoing. From the driver's card, at least every 21 days. Remember, we have said that information can be stored on your card for 28 days, but after the 28 days, it will overwrite the older information. That means that the old information will be going off your card, and then to be recording the new information. So 21 days is recorded, then the day 22 is day 1. Up to the next 21 days is also recorded. So even if the informations are overwritten on your driver card, you will still have a chronology, a sequential data that is stored without any information missing on the driver card. The same is done for the vehicle unit, that is the tachograph itself inserted in your car. There are other devices that are in the office, that are in the departments, that can be used in tracking your tachograph wherever you are. Remember that. We have not gone into the office-based administration and operational side of the tachograph. But there are computers, there are machinery, equipment that is monitoring you wherever that you are driving or roaming throughout the place. So there are a lot of checks and balances in the work to protect us, to make us feel comfortable, so that you are also not cheated. You also don't cheat the system, and it's fairness for all. So the unit itself, remember we said it can store information up to what? 365 days. That is a whole year. But to prevent data loss, or to prevent it from being corrupted or having a challenge on the way, I don't want to talk about accidents, because it's something I pray God never happens to any one of you or any one of us driving wherever we find ourselves. So, but sometimes it happens. So, and the tachograph could be affected. So there is a need to always download the information. I said some companies have it as 1 month, they will do it, but at least 3 months, they must download and then keep. Save and store the downloaded data in a secure data storage system. You will need it. And you keep backups so that in case of there's any disaster or anything, it can be recovered peacefully. So you can see in the picture, a pen drive inserted in the downloadable portion of the tachograph. And this is an external device that when you download, you can put it in and download it onto it and record it. The system that they used in programming the tachograph also looks like something like this. But like I said, you, the driver, it is not your business to do it. You may learn how to do it maybe for other purpose or for other reasons, but never you try to tamper with your tachograph inserted in your vehicle. It will cost you your job. So just watch out. Right. Operator system for tracking driver's card. This tracking system should record the following. Once again, I'm bringing your mind home as to your supervisor. That is the person I'm referring to as your operator here. When he is tracking you, the driver, when he's tracking your card, whether on his system in the company base or he comes once a while in your vehicle to download the information and all those things. The things that he records, which you must always make sure that you also have it, is one, details of the driver license number. So you realize that any recruitment system that wants to employ your driver's license number, it's something more important just as your own name. So you don't make mistake with it. And then the driver's card number, which is on the card, that is your tachograph card, the number, it must tally. It's used in recording you. The expiry dates on your driver's license and then on your tach card must all be recorded. And then details of lost, if it is lost, if it is stolen or malfunctioning card, and then the actions that have been taken are all done. So if something happens, make sure that it is well recorded in your company. You report it and it is well recorded and it is followed. So you must alert when downloads of individual cards are to be taken. Your supervisor will alert you that at this point in time and this time, we'll be downloading information on your card. So bring your card to the office or you slot it in his system and you download the information on it. Other times, you come and directly download the information from the vehicle units in your car itself. So it's a collaboration work. It's not a one-way affair that you get your tachograph, you are good to go. Nobody will bother you about it. You'll be working hand in hand with your supervisor and the office from time to time. So that is what you need to do. No. How do I view the data on a driver card? The printout that is made is the same information you have on your driver card. If your organization will permit you to have a soft copy of it, you can have it on a drive that is supported by Tachograph relevant software, or on your phone that is supported by Tachograph relevant software. But your operator or your supervisor, he would have it on his computer. Once he's downloaded it. Not all computers and not all appliances support tachograph download. There's a particular software that supports it. So if you have it on your device, or you have it on your laptop, or you have it on your pen drive that is programmed to pick tach informations, it will obviously support it. But this is, you seek permission, it must be done. And if your company policy does not permit you to download it yourself, you don't. But for your supervisor, he has the right to do that. At best, you have it on your printout from the vehicle unit or on the display. We would look at the details of the components of the tachograph later, and you will see the menu where you can click on the menu and then select whatever you want to do. If you want to view the information on it, you can view it freely. We are human beings. We are natural. The system is programmed by human beings, so you feel free with it. You can reverse and then look at certain activities that has happened in the past and compare with your printout to make sure everything is in order. And after that, you reset it to normal where it's supposed to be. So it is a friendly, device. It is not a device that scares you or make you afraid or worried. You make mistake about it or this. No. That is far from that. So we're grinding to the end of this first knowledge-based part of your tachograph. How to download it. To download it, you need the download device and your company card. So like I said, the company card is with your company that you are driving with. And your driver's card, if your supervisor is coming to download it, he will take it because he would need to key certain things on it, key the company card, and then do the appropriate downloading using the necessary softwares. Somebody say, I'm a driver. Why do I need to know all of these things? You need to know so that you are not like the only fish in the sea. There are a lot of fishes, big fishes around you. And you must know the roles that they will play and how you also need to swim along with them and make you, enjoy your stay in the ocean of driving. So that is it. Um, Finally, most manufacturers of the tachograph, they come along with, they supply the software for the downloading itself. So once they have the software, they would do that, and then the software would also interpret the digital tachograph information. It can put it into graphs, can put it into curves, it can put it into various informational display. And then so it's a very nice and it's a beautiful thing. So this is giving you knowledge as to what happens on your side as a driver and what happens on the side of the company as well. If you have any questions or anything bothering your mind, you are free to post them and to the appropriate quarters, and we would answer them accordingly for you. Thank you very much for being a part of this class, and God bless you. Look out for the second part and be blessed.